High on a lonely mountain lived a dragon who just wanted a friend. His name was Roro, a big green dragon with gentle eyes. He lived all alone, surrounded by swirling clouds and quiet peaks, but a heavy sadness lived in his heart. Whenever he flew near the village, people would scream and hide. Doors slammed shut. Windows were barred. Roro would return to his cave, the silence louder than any shout. He felt unseen, misunderstood, and achingly lonely. One quiet night, as the stars blinked in the dark sky, a soft voice whispered, "You look sad." Roro's head lifted, his large eyes scanning the shadows. He saw nothing but swaying trees and sleeping flowers. The voice was like the rustling of leaves, yet it was clear. "I'm here," it whispered again. "You don't have to be alone." This was the voice of a forest spirit, so small and shy it was invisible to the eye. The spirit had watched Roro for a long time. It saw not a monster, but a gentle soul. The spirit wasn't afraid. A strange warmth filled the air. Roro let out a puff of smoke, and for the first time, it wasn't out of sorrow. He blew a small, warm fire spark into the air. In response, a swirl of leaves danced around the spark like a gentle hug. The spirit giggled, a sound like tiny bells. They began to play. Roro would blow soft, glowing embers into the night. The invisible spirit would guide them, making them twirl and loop through the forest. It would tickle Roro's nose with a floating flower petal. It would rustle the branches to create a soft, rhythmic song. Together, they explored hidden waterfalls and glowing caves on the mountain. And for the first time in years, a deep, rumbling laugh escaped Roro's chest. The lonely mountain didn't feel so lonely anymore. One evening, dark clouds gathered over the village below. Wind howled, and rain began to pour. Then, lightning cracked across the sky, striking an old, great tree at the edge of the village. It crashed down, blocking the river and causing the water to rise, threatening every home. The villagers panicked, their cries lost in the storm. "They need help," the spirit's voice urged, full of concern. "But they're scared of me," Roro rumbled, his heart sinking. "They will see who you really are," the spirit insisted, its presence a comforting warmth against his scales. Trusting his only friend, Roro spread his mighty wings and flew into the raging storm. The wind pushed against him, and rain blurred his vision. But the spirit was with him, a whisper in his ear. "This way, Roro." A little to the left. It guided him through the darkness, a tiny, unseen compass in the chaos. He landed by the overflowing river, the roaring water threatening to swallow the village. With a mighty heave, Roro pushed the massive tree away, clearing the path for the water to flow safely. He then used his body as a shield, protecting the nearest homes from the flood surge until the river calmed. The villagers peeked from their windows, their fear slowly turning to awe. They saw not a monster, but a protector, a hero. When the storm passed, the sun peeked through the clouds. The villagers came out, not with pitchforks, but with grateful eyes. They no longer ran. They smiled. Roro had saved them. He was not a beast to be feared. He was their friend. Roro looked toward the forest, knowing his invisible companion was watching. He was no longer the lonely dragon on the mountain. He had a village that saw his kindness, and a friend who had seen his heart all along. Even a dragon can find a friend, if someone finally sees them.